Hello, Dave here with emergencyprepguy.com. I appreciate you stopping by. This is a video today that we're going to do that you're going to really like. This is one that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I'm going to show you in this video the Titan solar generator. And as always, if you get any benefit out of this video, if you like it at all, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the little bell so that you'll be notified when we do future videos. We always appreciate it when people do that. It really helps us get the word out. So that's my little plug. So if you've been around emergencyprepguy.com for very long, you've probably read some of the other articles that I've done on other backup generators and backup solar generators. This Titan solar generator right now, it hasn't been out that long, and right now it's the best on the market. I'm really impressed with it. That's why I've been excited to get one so that I could show you and do a video on it and do an article on it. And all right, so let's get over to the Titan and let's look at it. Okay, here's the Titan system. This isn't mine, this is a loaner. I'm getting one, but they're back ordered right now. So Ben at poweredportablesolar.com, I'll put the link to their website in the description below this video, so you have that. Anyway, he's close enough to me here in eastern Idaho that he ran this up to me and was nice enough to loan it to me so I can test it all out, see what I think of it. And since I won't get the one I ordered for a while, what I wanted to show you here, I'm going to unplug this and turn it off. And the way these disconnect, if you've looked at any videos on this, the main part of the unit disconnects completely from the batteries. And so all you do is just a simple latch there. There's 4 of them, 2 on each side. And then the main unit, which isn't very heavy, comes off. And then there's a handle for the battery as well. Batteries are like, I think he said 35 pounds or something like that. So they're heavy, but they're not super heavy. They're not hard to use. You can carry them like a briefcase, like that, or from the top. And these are stackable batteries, meaning that you can get as many of them really as you want to have. So I'm going to put this back on here. You just fit the legs on there, and you kind of get it fit down there, and then you tighten these back up. Okay, and when you're running it, here's the on-off switch, and you can turn it up either to, I'm going to bring you in closer here where you can see this. You can turn it up to the AC/DC or down to DC. If you have it off, this unit is completely disconnected from the battery. So if you plug something in, it isn't going to work. So like if we turn it there on to the AC, that means that the AC power and the DC will work. If you turn it down to the DC, that just the DC units will work. So I'm going to plug this in. Here, I'm going to spin you around here. So I'm going to plug this in just to one of these outlets. And you can see the only thing that's plugged in there is my laptop. And it's not drawing that much, but you can see it immediately went to drawing a little bit more power. Okay, a couple things I want to talk about the front of this unit. First off, the top part, the power module, is also referred to as the inverter. It has a 3,000 watt pure sine wave inverter in it, which is the best on the market right now. And then it has a 2,000 watt hour battery, and like I said, you can get as many additional batteries for it as you want. Now the interesting thing about the power here is each of these ports you've got a row of DC ports. They look like cigarette lighter ports, and then you've got 110 volt AC outlets here. Like you can see, I've got my laptop plugged into. There's 2 banks of 3 AC outlets. Each of the 2 banks of 3 AC outlets will produce, up to 15 amps for each one, and then all of the DC ports there together will produce up to, or you can draw from it up to 20 amps. Over here you've got an RV plug which will do 30 amps, so that's kind of neat. Now inside these DC ports, when you buy the systems, you'll actually get 4 inserts for that, which will have the USB-A. Some of them will have just 2 USB-A ports on them, and some of them will have a USB-A and a USB-C port on them, so that you can charge things that you can charge with those, like cell phones and whatnot, those kinds of things. Another neat thing about this system is, if you see, for each of these 3 banks of AC outlets, there's a little yellow circle here and a button for each of them. There's one right over here too. But those are reset buttons. If for some reason you overload this AC bank here, you can reset it, get the system back running. You don't have to take anything apart or whatever. It's just right there, boom, you're up and running again. Same with that side. Another thing is, right here is a fuse. If you end up blowing that fuse, you don't have to tear the Titan unit apart. The fuse is right there, easy to get to, and you just pull it out and put a fuse there. And I think when you get the system, it comes with an extra fuse as well, so you've got one on hand. Okay, now here's the side of the unit. You can see you've got 2 side-by-side ports. These are the ports that the solar panels will charge the unit with. They import the solar power there, 2 of them. And then if you're going to charge it off of an AC outlet in your home, you can plug those units in there. And then here you've got, this is a port that when you get this system, it comes with a cord that you can plug into your cigarette lighter in your car, and the other end of it into this port, and you can charge the system. Like if you're going on a road trip, you can, while you're driving, you can be also charging up your Titan, all the batteries. And then last, over here we have a battery expansion port. This is for if you already have, or you buy other batteries that are the same voltage and everything that fit this system. You can add as many of those as you want, and you can port them in here. To me, it doesn't make any sense to do that because it just makes more sense to have the stacking ones that are made for it. But anyway, it does give you that ability to do that there. Okay, as you can see, I just ran an extension cord to our refrigerator and plugged it in here to the Titan, and it did not even hardly change the amps or the watts that it was pulling. I'll just let you see if I unplug it here. It's like it doesn't even hardly affect the power there. A little bit, but and I'm going to plug my laptop back in. It says it'll run it for 70 hours. Well, 59 now. Probably the fridge motor kicked on. Okay, I'm in my backyard now, and as you can kind of see over my shoulder there, I've got the Titan set up with one battery on a table. And I've got a desk lamp that has just a normal, non-efficient 60-watt bulb in it. And then I've got a house, just a small normal house fan and a space heater. Then down on the ground, I have an old skill saw. I just want to show you how kind of a variety of different things and how much power they draw out of the Titan. Now, with the Titan, with just one battery, the battery is a 2,000 watt battery, so you don't want to draw any more than 2,000 watts out of it if you just have the one battery. If you have 2 or more batteries, then you can max out the inverter, which allows you to draw up to up to 3,000 watts. And then the only other limitations to remember is, you know, out of each of the banks of AC outlets will let you draw up to 15 amps for each of those, and the DC combined up to 20 amps, and the RV plug there on the end, like I said, up to 30 amps. So if you do draw more than that, so you want to spread what I'm saying is you want to spread your appliances over the 2 AC, be able to get as much as you can. If you do accidentally overload it, the reset buttons, this resets the whole thing, and then these ones reset the 2 ACs, and so it's pretty slick. So let's get down and let's see what these things draw. Okay, so you probably can't see it here. I'm gonna pull in close. Hopefully you can see it as I pull in close here. But we're at 94%. According to this, we have 99, basically 100 hours before this will run out with the current draw. It's only, this tells you the net watts and the net amps that's being drawn on it. Right now, the only thing that's being drawn is it's running the inverter, and it just had the fans on a minute ago as I was testing it before I started this video. So, like for example, if you have the solar panels charging it, or you know, AC, the AC chargers plugged into it, and it's charging the battery, and you have some things plugged in it that it's draining. If it's bringing in more power, charging more than you're using, then it will show a positive number there. If you're drawing more electricity than is coming into it through the panel or the chargers, then it'll show a negative number there. So it's kind of cool. It gives you the net effect of what you're doing. With us not having solar panels plugged into it right now or any way to charge it, it's just going to show us what we're drawing on it. So, and another interesting thing is right here it has the amp hours. So right now we have 69 amp hours, it says, and let's see if I can pull you in there where you can see it. You can see the arrows. Hopefully you can see that. The arrows are pointing down. When the arrows are pointing down, that means you're using more than you're charging with. When you if I were to plug the chargers or the solar panels into it and not have very much pulling from it, those arrows would go up. Anyway, it's just, I like the display. It's pretty cool. So what I'm gonna do first, let's just turn on the light here. It's just a 60-watt bulb. Okay, so we got the light. Now it went up from 13 watts up to 76 watts, which makes sense. It's a 60-watt bulb. And so now let's just turn on the fan and add the fan to it. Okay, and so now it's drawing 114 watts. Now I'm gonna turn both of those off. I just want to see, so I can see exactly what the space heater's drawing. We can turn them all on in a minute. So we turn those off, it comes back down to 13 watts like it was before. Now let's turn on this space heater here. Let's see if I got it turned on right. Yeah, there we go. Space heater's running. And it immediately went up to 1.5, 1.6 kilowatts, which is basically 1500 watts, 1600 watts. So you can see a space heater, electric heat like that, is about draws about the most electricity of just about anything. That's why I wanted to have that on there and test it. Hopefully you can hear me good. The fan's still going because the fan just turned off. It's kind of hot out here today. So I've got a skill saw here, an old skill saw. I just want to start it so we can see how much amps that draws. When you're backup energy, you're probably not going to be using a skill saw, but I just want to show you here. So okay. it drew about 850 watts to run a skill saw, so it ran it with absolutely no problem whatsoever. So, okay, I just want to show you this panel on this while I have the unit indoors, because when I was trying to show you when we were outside, there was too much glare, you couldn't really see it. So this is what I was talking about when I was saying it was 12, 13 watts. Like, it's not, I don't have anything plugged into it at all right now. The 12, 13 watts there, it's just, the only thing it's really running is the inverter. Anyway, this number here, that's the clock. You know, when you're charging it, it tells you how much time you have left before it'll be fully charged. When you're using power, like right now, it says it's not, 99 hours. It tells you how much time you have before the battery's low. And then here's where it shows the amp hours, and the arrows down that I was talking about, and the arrows up. The 94%, that's there's 94% of the battery is still charged, so it's 94% charged, in other words. And then where I was talking about the when you're got solar panels or chargers plugged into it and you're charging as well as using things, and it shows you the net. Where I was talking about there is right here. That's that number there, where it'll be a positive or negative number depending on whether you're using more electricity than the chargers are bringing in, or vice versa. Okay, I'm gonna take you over here. I've got some solar panels. They're not leaned at the right angle, and they're not they're not directly towards the sun. It's still early in the morning and the sun's off to one side. I don't have any way to hold them up more directly at the sun. But I want to show you how simple they are to hook up. And when I get mine, I'm going to actually get a stand for them and everything so that I can aim them wherever I want to. But anyway, if you look here, each of these panels have two cords that come off of them. One has a male end and the other one has a female end. And all you do to hook them together, you want to hook them together in a series, is you do the male end of one to the female end of the other, all on down the series like that. And then what that leaves you with is a male end on one end of your series and a female end on the other. And then you can see I've got cords here that you plug into that. And then when you get over here, there's these, you just plug them into there, and then it plugs it right into the port there. So I've got those set up. So we're charging the unit right now. So I just want to show you. I've got nothing plugged into it, so it was pulling about 13 watts. As soon as I plugged that, now each of those panels that I just showed you are 100 watts when they're generating the maximum amount of electricity that they can. So that would be, I've got 5 of them at the moment, so that would be 500 watts. But again, it's early in the morning, the sun's way off in the side. It's warm already though, but the panels are not facing directly towards the sun, so they're not getting the maximum that they could be getting. So, but even as it is, you can see that we're already, it shows 318 watts. So we've got plus it's minusing the 13 watts. So we've got about 326 watts or so that those solar panels are bringing in. I was at 92%, it just went up to 93%. And it's telling me that I've got 29 minutes, since I'm not drawing anything, I'm just charging. It's telling me I've got 29 minutes before it's back to 100%. So the display is really easy to read and understand. It's pretty nifty. Now, one thing that you do want to remember also is not to put the solar panels on your lawn, flat on your lawn. They do get really hot and it will kill your grass. It will burn your grass. That's why you need to have them. Plus you don't get the maximum sun that way anyway, but it will kill your grass, so that's why you want to have them up on a stand. Okay, with this Titan system, you're able to expand it up to 20 of those 100-watt solar panels. You saw me test 5 of them, and not during the peak time of the day. And I was still charging over 300 watts with just 5 of the panels. So you can expand it up to 20, and you typically have around 5 or 6 peak sun hours during the day where you can, they'll be charging at their maximum. And even in the morning, like you saw here, I was still charging, pretty good. So with one of these systems, hopefully I showed you enough devices there where you can kind of get an idea, what you can run. With the 5 panels, not even during the peak time of the day, where instead of 500 watts, I was getting about 325. If you're only using the generator for less than that, you're not going to be burning up the battery. Using up the battery at all. With the battery fully charged, with just one battery, you've got 2,000 watt hours there. If you have with more than that, you've obviously got more. And the most you can draw is 3,000 watts if you have 2 or more batteries. And so things like the refrigerator that you saw me plug in, that was only drawing about 20 watts. And then every once in a while the motor would kick on and it might go up to 40 or 50 watts. It would. That refrigerator wasn't using very much at all. Freezer is similar to that. So you can see that this Titan solar generator can run your freezer, your refrigerator. If you've got the inefficient 60-watt bulbs like I use there, you could run a lot of those on the Titan, obviously. But if you had more efficient light bulbs, and you don't need to run probably all of your lights in an emergency. The computer, I had my laptop plugged in. I was like 10 or 15 watts that it was drawing, hardly anything. You charging cell phones. The things you want to stay away from, obviously, is space heaters. Anything that's or electric oven and electric burners, anything that's producing heat through electricity, that really uses up a lot of electricity. But pretty much, if you like in my house, I've got a gas oven, a gas stove. My furnace runs off of gas. So aside from, I have a wood stove in there. We could heat our house if we had to with the wood stove, or at least a good portion of it. And there's pretty much essential items, not much you won't be able to run. So I'm pretty impressed with this, especially if you had, think about it, if you had you had the maximum 20 of those panels where you're drawing in 2,000 watts at a time. It turns this Titan generator into a pretty powerful emergency preparedness tool. So that's why I'm so excited about it. I think it's really great. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it was helpful to you. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.